So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K25 Next Gen. In today's video, we are finally kicking off the post-draft prospect rebuilds. These are all going to be 5 years, and today we have Cooper Flagg to the Dallas Mavericks. What a truly wild season it was in Dallas. We saw one of the all-time bad trades done by Nico Harrison. Of course, they sent Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers. Anthony Davis, now the face of basketball here in Dallas. We then watched the draft lottery with a very, very interesting kind of notion, because this team, with less than a 2% chance, ended up getting the #1 overall pick, of course, landing themselves Cooper Flagg. It is going to be an interesting one today, because these are going to be done a little bit differently. When I only have 3 years, I have to rush a little bit. When I have the 5 years, I have a little bit more time to sit back, relax, watch some guys develop. So my goal today is to obviously build this team up, continuing to get them to the point where they can hopefully win a championship. And I don't really think I have to mention this. I'm sure you're all very much aware, but the 5-year rebuilds are obviously going to be longer than the 3-year rebuild. So if you like long videos, then hopefully you sit back and enjoy this one, because all of these prospect rebuilds are going to be 5 years. So I don't know how many of these we're going to do, probably as many as you guys want, but we're not going to be doing one every single day, probably 2 or 3 a week moving forward. So you guys are seeing this on Monday. I'm pretty sure NBA free agency also kicks off in about an hour. So absolutely insane time of year. Of course, a lot of content ahead. Looking forward to all of it, but excited to get into these rebuilds. I can't fucking speak. Let's just do it. Okay, so a couple notable things before we actually get into the rebuild. First and foremost, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, this is a non-realistic rebuild. This is unrealistic. I just want to put that out there. For some of the trades you are obviously going to see momentarily. The way this is going to work, 5 off seasons, 5 regular seasons. It's pretty self-explanatory, but we're in off season number 1 now. Obviously, some of it has been simulated so far, but there will be 4 other off seasons and obviously 5 regular seasons. Then finally, I'm using a shared scenario right now that has all of the draft picks on their correct teams. I'm going to play around with this a little bit. Of course, I'm probably going to continue to need updated ones just because there's going to be free agency signings. I'm sure there will be more trades and everything like that. So yeah, I know that's a lot to take in. You probably don't really care. Let's just get into this video. So we'll break down this Dallas roster. Of course, it's already been a pretty busy offseason here in Dallas. We started at the point guard spot with Kyrie Irving, who of course is recovering from an injury right now, but at 33 years old, at 92 overall, he ended up declining his player option. Did end up signing a contract extension here in Dallas, and yeah, I mean, we're going to have to keep an eye on this, because at 33 years old, I don't know if Kyrie's going to be a 5-year player for me, but of course, he is still one of the incredibly skilled players in our league here today. So yes, he is technically injured right now here in the non-realistic world. I know he's supposed to be back around January. He's just not going to be injured. Spencer Dinwiddie, probably not going to be long for this team. I have 2 options behind him in Brandon Williams and Jaden Hardy, who, are definitely both a little bit younger, maybe a little bit more upside here as well. We move to the shooting guard spot. This is an interesting position, because I think Klay Thompson could be impactful for us. No surprise that Klay Thompson will likely not be here by the end of year 5. I have to be careful with this, because sometimes he does end up retiring at the end of year 1. I'm not going to say I'm just going to dump him for nothing, and I do think he'll be an interesting fit with this team in real life, but at 35 years old, 2 years, $34 million left on that deal, we will certainly see. Dante Exum is 30, could be a nice role piece. We end up bringing him back. Max Christie, of course, was another piece brought back in the Luka Doncic deal. Definitely got to find a way to get him into this rotation. We move to the small forward spot, which is currently occupied by PJ Washington and Najee Marshall. I thought for sure that PJ Washington could be a piece that Dallas maybe considers moving this offseason. He's 26 years old, and although he's not a bad player, he could be an expensive player come free agency. So we'll figure that out, and then, we'll get to the power forward spot. In all likeliness, Anthony Davis will be starting here at the 4 for me. I'll likely move Cooper Flagg to the 3. It's the way they'll probably do it in real life. It's the way we're going to do it here. And then Caleb Martin, and then Olivier Maxence Prosper. Finally, with the center spot, Daniel Gafford just signed an extension with Dallas. I did not necessarily see that coming, but he is here. I like Derek Lively's upside quite a bit, so I'd certainly like to find a way to get him into the starting lineup, but that is, of course, something we will sort out. So, yeah, I mean, we watched what Nico Harrison did back, I think it was February 1st. It was an awful trade. I don't think anybody's going to sit here and deny that. I don't think there's a world out there where any Maverick fan would rather have Anthony Davis than Luka Doncic, but, if we accept the reality of the situation that this Dallas team is in, it's not nearly as bad as it could have been. I think this team could be a lot worse, and it certainly would have been a lot worse if they didn't end up with the #1 overall pick. So we'll sort it out. Kessler Edwards, I'll qualify. Why the hell not? And then we get here into free agency. Kessler Edwards appears to be our only major free agent. At this point in time, I'm going to move some positions around. I am likely going to make a trade or two because, again, we don't have to necessarily force the issue and be the favorites in the West in year one, but we already have a good team, and two of our better players in Kyrie and Anthony Davis are probably not getting any younger. So a little bit different here in today's video. We're definitely going to try to go for it in the immediate, but also want to make sure we set ourselves up for some future success as well. First trade of today's video is going to be a deal here with the Toronto Raptors. Again, just wanted to remind you one more time, this is not a realistic rebuild. Klay Thompson, Jaden Hardy, Caleb Martin all going to Toronto. In return, we're going to be picking up Emmanuel Quickley and Jacoby Walter. So my kind of biggest goal right now is to try to find an upgrade, maybe long-term in this starting five, without really giving up anything of significant value. So we're going to plug and play Emmanuel Quickley, likely at that two-guard spot. I think he's going to be at least a nice stopgap for the immediate need, I guess. Klay Thompson, again, is probably, I don't want to say a better fit with this team right now, but ultimately he's not going to be here long-term. And I'm not saying Quickley will be either, but at least we know he's on a long-term contract, and of course, he's not going to retire after one season as well. So we also did get Jacoby Walter in this deal, which I think is an interesting fit. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with him. I think at this point, PJ Washington, who I was going to consider moving on from, will likely just be the backup power forward behind Anthony Davis, and this team's in a pretty good spot already. So I'm not really sure here because I want to play Christie. I think Walter definitely deserves some playing time as well. But at this point, we've really figured out a lot of things with this team, and the depth is already really, really good. So what does happen out of curiosity? Like if I move Walter to the point guard spot, he goes down 2. Christie also goes down 2. Yeah, I don't know. Are any of these guys expiring? Because if any of them are, maybe willing. Okay, so like Brandon Williams is expiring technically. Christie and Walter both have several years of team control moving forward. Oh boy. Okay, you know what? I'll bite the bullet. I'm going to move Jacoby Walter to the point guard spot. Yes, his overall is going to go down to, again, probably not his most natural fit, but I think for the long-term outlook of it, especially with Brandon Williams expiring, who's a fine option for us, I think I'd rather take some sort of draft pick. Why the Bulls are willing to give me their unprotected first next year is so far beyond my understanding, but thank you very much. Okay, I know it's going to be a pretty boring offseason, but yeah, I mean, this Dallas team's already pretty good, so I'll see you guys with the rotation at the start of year one. It's now the first season here in Dallas. This is not, typically how a team with the number 1 overall pick would look for a first season, but obviously we're in a pretty unique spot right now. Here's how things shook out. Kyrie Irving, Emmanuel Quickley, Cooper Flagg, Anthony Davis, and then Derek Lively. I mean, just an elite 1 through 5. I made the decision to start Lively over Gafford for a couple reasons. One, first and foremost, the upside, obviously a little bit younger. I like Derek Lively a lot. I think he is going to be good for a long time. And then second, 2K actually recommended it. So typically, if you do what 2K recommends, tends to work. Najee Marshall going to be my 6th man. Got Gafford right behind him. PJ Washington in here. Max Christie. Finally, Jacoby Walter. So, this is already an elite team with, I would say, pretty elite depth. I'm not saying it's the best in the world or anything, but I do think this is a team that should be in the playoffs, maybe even a top 3 seed. So I'll see you guys at the end of year number 1 here in Dallas. The first season has officially come to an end. We finished it with a record of 65-17. Again, not your typical scenario for a team that just had the number 1 overall pick, but it's where we are. Nikola Jokic took a year off winning MVPs. He is back. Cooper Flagg does win Rookie of the Year, even with all of the talent around him. He is getting it done. RJ Barrett coming off the bench in Toronto. You got Wemby winning DPOY, Scoot Henderson most improved, Giannis clutch player of the year. And okay, I guess we were not the number 1 team here in the Western Conference because the Demons out in Minnesota going to take the 1 seed. But we are not far behind them, only 2 games. We're going to be facing a play-in team in round number 1. That will, of course, either be the Clippers or the Lakers. All right, let's take a look at the Eastern Conference. Let's go over some of the stats here for this team. Kyrie led us in scoring. Yeah, there's something weird with Anthony Davis in these videos. His numbers aren't really, ever anything super impressive. And I'm not saying this is a bad season out of Anthony Davis, but, for his standards, I guess it kind of is. Emmanuel Quickley, pretty good. Cooper Flagg, Najee Marshall, Washington, Gafford, Lively, Walter, and then Christie. The rebounding department was led by AD. Assists going to be Emmanuel Quickley. So first round of the playoffs here. We're taking on the Lakers. Oh boy, old friend here, Luka Doncic. You got Austin Reeves, LeBron James, Vanderbilt, Koloko. They made a trade for Drew Holiday at some point. That's certainly an interesting fit. Okay, let's see what happens here in the first round of the Western Conference playoffs. Quick 2-0 lead for us. They take Game 3 on their home floor. And Game 4, we go up 3-2. We close them out in 6. And hashtag Nico was right. No, I'm just playing. It is time for the West semis here. Malik Monk, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, Domantas Sabonis. I have no idea what to think of the Sacramento Kings heading into next season. They're kind of just another team that's probably not good enough to actually compete for anything, but probably not going to be bad enough to actually do anything real in the lottery. It's going to be interesting. Okay, Minnesota beat the defending champs in the second round. It is Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels. Okay, they made some new additions, undoubtedly, but am I insane for thinking that we're better? I mean, I don't think that's too crazy. We take the first two, and we win game 3 as well, and oh my god, we sweep them. And it is Kyrie Irving going up against his old team here, Evan Mobley in the Cavs. Okay, well, this Cavs team is undeniably loaded. Funny enough, it's just something I'm, laughing at. Literally, when I was starting to sim the first season here, the Cavs and the Bulls made a trade. Isaac Okoro went to Chicago for Lonzo Ball, a straight 1-for-1 swap. Funny. Okay, let's get into it. It is the NBA Finals. Can we get a championship in year 1, potentially kick off the dynasty in Dallas? Oh my god. I mean, we lost 2 games throughout the entirety of the playoffs, and it was actually the first round. I mean, not often you see that, but maybe it is the start of something pretty crazy here. I mean, I'm not saying anything. Good job by me doing that. Okay, let's get into offseason number 2. Of course, we have 4 years to go still, so we have to kind of, think about this from a bigger picture. We'll sim through the lottery. It is going to be the Suns, Thunder, Knicks, Hornets, and then Thunder again. Oh, good. I'd like to bring back Jason Kidd. Let's just pay him his money. He's obviously done a pretty good job. And as we approach the 2026 draft, I'm quite honestly not really sure what we're working with in the pick department. We have the Bulls pick at 18, and then we have our pick at 30. Okay, I don't think it would be the most insane move in the world. Like, if I did this, can I get a future first? No, nothing, really. The thing is, I want to get some future assets in some way, shape, or form, because we're not exactly loaded in the pick department right now, right? I mean, you look at this, I think this team is set up well, but I just don't think we have enough draft picks for my liking. So, we will take a Sacramento pick next offseason. That's fine. And then I will draft somebody at number 30. Again, they're probably just going to be a bottom of the bench kind of player. Flory Badunga, Donnie Freeman, sure. Carter Knox. I'll take Badunga just because, again, our center spot, is pretty much solidified, but you never know. Lively, Prosper, Walter, all going to be brought back. Qualifying, we have none. And then here in free agency, why is Kyrie a free agent? Nope. Kyrie shouldn't be a free agent. I'm going to fix his contract after this. That's on 2K. I already updated it. You guys watched me update it. I showed you guys it last season. Oh, God bless the stupidity of this game. Okay, at this point in time, let me edit Kyrie's contract. I may have a trade or two. We're going to make a trade here with the Indiana Pacers. We're sending Najee Marshall and Olivier Maxence Prosper to Indiana. In return, we're going to be picking up Obi Toppin and Johnny Furphy. Now, Najee Marshall is a fine bench piece for us, fine 6-man option, but ultimately in these videos, when players are expiring, and we are as leveraged as we are in the financial department, I'd like to maybe move off of players who are expiring. So we're going to send out these 2, Obi Toppin, of course, on a multi-year deal. We'll bring him back in return. This is also going to allow me to move PJ Washington back to the small forward spot. And yeah, it's not as exciting as, the offseason probably could have been, but at this point, we really don't have any players who are expiring, outside of Derek Lively, but of course, we're going to be willing to pay him next offseason. So yeah, not every offseason is going to be very exciting, unfortunately, just the reality of this. I did update Kyrie's contract, by the way, so that is back to what it should be. And at this point, I guess I'll just see you guys at the start of year number 2. Fresh off a championship, we got it done in year 1. We are looking to start a dynasty, and we are looking to get another one. Kyrie Irving, Emmanuel Quickley, Cooper Flagg, Anthony Davis, and Derek Lively. Now, out of that starting 5, you're probably noticing a couple big things. That, of course, being some, somewhat notable regression for our 2 best players in Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis, especially AD. I'm not terribly worried about it. It's something that, of course, has been in the back of my head since this video has started. I know how he ends up regressing, so we're going to go on a year-to-year basis. Bench unit sees Obi Toppin take over as my 6-man, Daniel Gafford behind him, PJ Washington, Max Christie, finally Jacoby Walter. So, yeah, I mean, not a lot of major changes to this team. I think we still have the star power. Hopefully the depth shows up as well, and hopefully we get another championship. See you guys at the end of year number 2. So there has officially been one thing that has gone back-to-back. That would be Nikola Jokic winning an MVP award for the 2nd straight season. We go 69-13. Nice. I am very much hoping to get another championship here. Cameron Boozer ends up in New York. Josh Giddey coming off the bench in Charlotte. Victor Wembanyama, Jeremiah Fears, Cam Thomas, Jason Kidd, your coach of the year. So for the first time in this video, we are the 1 seed here in the Western Conference. We dominated this conference, won it by 17 games. Far and away the best record in basketball. Here are the numbers. You can see across the board here. I mean, nothing that's like glaringly obvious or bad. I mean, you win almost 70 games. It's hard to find much to complain about, but here goes nothing. Memphis in round 1, John Morant. They have Chris Dunn here, Jalen Wells. Okay. Oh boy. I feel bad for John Morant. I mean, Huh? What happened? What happened? What? What happened? What is this? Oh, no. What? Really? I mean, I'd say I'm disappointed with pretty much every... Coop, this is bad, buddy. Everybody sucked. Nobody was good. I mean, I guess that's fine for Emmanuel Quickly. I mean, his field goal percentage was dog shit, but wow, that is an awful. I remember the last time I saw getting swept in the first round after winning 69 games. That Minnesota team is really not even that good. Or not Minnesota, that Memphis team. But god damn, bro. Okay, well, it is time to enter what is going to be an interesting third offseason. Of course, this is not the final season as it typically would be, but yeah, I'm going to have to make some big decisions because I am a little bit nervous right now, to be completely forthcoming with you guys. I think that's a really bad ending to what was a really dominant regular season. We have the Spurs pick. Really? I thought we had the... Did I trade? Oh, I thought I traded for somebody else's pick. I don't really need it. So again, maybe it's just a future asset here. Nick Richards, low-key. No, I'll take another. Yeah, I thought I traded for a Kings pick. At least I thought I did. I'm not going to draft anybody. That's fine. So Anthony Davis. Oh, shit. I forgot he's a free agent. Same with Max Christie. Okay, now I got to kind of be careful with this because I did not realize that AD was expiring. He has one offer right now. It's from the Heat. It's not a real contract, so we're going to pay him. Of course, going to pay Derek Lively. I'd like to pay Max Christie as well. Okay, that's pretty good right there, getting all of these guys back. Is there a blockbuster trade coming? There might be. I haven't decided exactly what that would be yet, but I'm going to consider pretty much all options at this point. It is here, and it is a blockbuster. We are pulling off a trade with the Indiana Pacers. Why they're willing to do this, I have no idea. But Kyrie Irving at this point in his career is still a good player. I'm not going to sit here and deny that, but he is 35 years old. He's making $40 million, and he is also an expiring contract. We just saw a similar situation come up with Anthony Davis, where, of course, I had to pay him a whole lot of money. That is probably more than he actually needs and deserves at this point. And I don't want to run into a similar situation next offseason with Kyrie. So I don't know why Indiana's willing to give up Tyrese Halliburton, a first-round draft pick, but they are, so I'm going to take it. I'm going to say thank you, and we're going to welcome our new point guard in here because he is a very nice addition. He's the same exact overall as Kyrie, while simultaneously being 8 years younger and, of course, on a multi-year contract as well. So, yeah, that one's a bit of a shocker. Not exactly sure why they were willing to do that, but they were. At this point, I do want to think about maybe some other moves. I mean, if maybe a Jacoby Walter trade is out there, if I combine him and Obi Toppin, you know, is there a point guard or a power forward out there that's, you know, on a multi-year deal making a decent amount of money? I could like the idea of Jabari Smith Jr. I think I'm going to take Jabari Smith Jr. I like that because Halliburton, let's be honest, he's going to eat up a lot of the minutes at the point guard spot. So if I bring in like Jose Alvarado on a 2-year deal, $3 million annually, I think I could live with that. Okay, I will now see you guys at the start of year number 3. After a really fast and disappointing ending to year number 2, we made a blockbuster trade this offseason. Of course, swapping out Kyrie Irving for Tyrese Halliburton, who, by the way, has gone down 3 overalls. I mean, just shout out the brilliance of NBA 2K25. But he's taking over our starting point guard spot. Emmanuel Quickly remains next to him. Cooper Flagg, who, of course, this is his video. He's developing quite nicely. Brought back Anthony Davis. Oops, kicked my desk. And finally, Derek Lively. Bench unit made the trade for Jabari Smith Jr. Still got Daniel Gafford, Max Christie, PJ Washington, and then signed Jose Alvarado. Okay, that is going to do it here for year number 3. We're going to hopefully be back as the 1 seed in the West. Hopefully go a lot further in the playoffs this time. So I guess Jokic is just going to win an MVP every single season of this video. He'd probably be in GOAT discussions at this point. 76-6. That is our record here at the end of year number 3. We are, of course, the greatest team ever. I am hoping that we can get a championship, though. Tyron Stokes, Jordan Poole, Wemby, Torre Yabusele, Cade Cunningham, and then Jason Kidd, Coach of the Year. Yeah, the great regular seasons are fine and well, but I am looking to win a second championship in 3 years in today's video. Cooper Flagg now emerging as the number 1 option. Halliburton, Emmanuel Quickly, Anthony Davis, Jabari Smith. You know, you guys have eyeballs. Led in rebounds by Lively, led in assists by Hallie. Okay, it is Phoenix here in round 1. Yeah, I mean, they're good. No denying that. I think we are better, but I also thought we were better last year against Memphis, so we're not just going to sim the series. We're up 3-0. We do sweep. Okay, good. Moving on to Golden State. Steph Curry, who is now 40 years old, still going pretty strong as the face of Warrior basketball. Oh boy, they also added Damian Lillard, who's now down to an 84 overall. Okay, I do think we're better. I'm not going to deny that. Up 3-1, close them out in 5. And it is the 7 seed San Antonio Spurs. Quite honestly, I'm not sure how I had avoided them so far. in this video. I certainly thought they would be, you know, kind of neck and neck with us in terms of the Western Conference, but they have just really not been a threat at all. And we are back in the NBA Finals, and Luka Doncic is, oh no, he's not a Raptor, he's a Bull. Okay. I don't really fear this Raptors team, but I've had trouble with Toronto in the past, but we're up 3-1. Close them out in 5. Cooper Flagg Finals MVP. All right, it is 2 championships in 3 years. We, of course, are not done. We have a few seasons left here to go, and yeah, I mean, we have some more decisions to make, of course. This is insane. We are going to likely have another pretty big trade. I don't know what it is exactly going to be. Eventually, we're going to get into a point where we're pretty screwed in the draft pick department, or not the draft pick, the salary cap department. We're going to run out of space. So have to be somewhat careful with that in the moves I do make. We have 2 first-round picks that are at number 29 and 30. Doesn't really get me very excited, so Portland's willing to do that. That's fine by me. Okay, Flagg and Badunga both brought back. Shireman, Drew Smith, nope. And then free agency here. This is a free agency that I never really get to because, of course, my videos are, you know, typically only 3 years. So, yeah, it's a pretty loaded class. Not going to deny that, but we, of course, have no money. Okay, looks like Kyrie's just going to go back to the Pacers. At this point, I do think I want to make another trade. It is the end of an era here in Dallas, and it is nothing but appreciation for Anthony Davis. Of course, being one of our better players on 2 championship teams, we are officially trading him and PJ Washington to the Orlando Magic. We're picking up Franz Wagner and first-round pick in 2031. Look, Anthony Davis was still playing fine. He wasn't his dominant self like we saw at his peak, but with him being 35 going on 36, I think it does make sense to go ahead and move on. So, of course, picked up Franz Wagner. This is just going to make me move Cooper Flagg back to the power forward spot. You know, he's going to go down 1 overall. It's not really something I'm too worried about. So, yeah, welcome to the team, Franz Wagner. Of course, getting a little bit younger there as well. I think that's going to be really beneficial for us. At this point, we're still, you know, not exactly done. I might consider a quickly trade. I think we've seen him kind of peak in terms of his ability, and especially with him being an expiring free agent. Same with Halliburton. I don't think it'd necessarily be a bad move. We're swinging a deal here with the Portland Trailblazers. We're sending Emmanuel Quickly, Daniel Gafford, 2 future first-round picks to Portland, and in return, we're going to be picking up Shaedon Sharpe and Donovan Clingan. I mean, it's a pretty nice swap for us. I mean, 2-player for 2-player. Of course, we are including a couple draft picks as well, but Shaedon Sharpe is 4 years younger than Quickly, of course, on a long-term contract while being 3 overalls higher. And then we get Clingan, who's also 5 years younger than Gafford. They're the same overall, and Clingan's also on a multi-year contract. So, yeah, I mean, the draft picks kind of suck, but I'm not really sweating it. I think that's a pretty good move for us. Okay, at this point in time, the majority of this team is filled out. It might be the time to trade Flory Badunga. I wanted to find a way to maybe get him into the lineup, but we desperately need a backup small forward and point guard. So, Asa Newell's sitting here. Asa Newell, whatever it is. Sure. It's actually probably a pretty good idea considering what these other offers are. All right, let's take Newell here. I think we are going to move him to small forward. His overall stays the same. And then we'll likely just sign a backup point guard behind Tyrese Halliburton. So, yeah, I mean, we're obviously being, you know, pretty... Ooh, Brandon Williams sitting here. Old friend in free agency. We're being pretty careful with the moves we make because, of course, we are going to be in salary hell. So I want pretty much everybody on this team, you know, at all times being on multi-year deals, which I think we have pretty much accomplished outside of... Cooper Flagg is as well. Okay, well, that's definitely something to keep in the back of our head, but we'll risk it, I think. See you guys at the start of the 4th season here in Dallas. So far, we have won 2 championships in 3 seasons. We are looking to make that 3 in 4 seasons. Now, this offseason was a pretty busy one, of course, moving on from 2 longtime staples in this starting 5 in Anthony Davis and Emmanuel Quickly. We have replaced them with Shaedon Sharpe and Franz Wagner. Of course, still have Halliburton, Cooper Flagg moves to the 4, and Derek Lively. Bench unit is still pretty solid with Jabari Smith Jr., Donovan Clingan, Max Christie, Asa Newell, and Brandon Williams. Okay, we are looking to get another one. I'll see you guys at the end of year number 4. At this point, this team's so goddamn dominant. The only thing I really care about is winning another championship. 75-7, final record. Luka Doncic, he's in Chicago. He's winning MVPs. Mikal Brown Jr., Josh Giddey, Wembanyama, Caleb Wilson, Anthony Edwards, Jason Kidd. I believe he's won 3 out of 4 coaches of the year. Okay, we are, you know, the 1 seed here. I mean, by 10 games, we won the Western Conference. Really kind of surprises me. I mean, the 2 teams you think would have given us a lot of trouble in this video, and the San Antonio Spurs and the OKC Thunder, we really haven't run into a lot. I mean, we beat San Antonio in the conference finals last year, but interesting nonetheless. There are the numbers across the board. Round 1 is going to be us in Portland here. Buffkin, Jaden Ivey, Brandon Ingram, Denny Avdia. Okay. Yeah, they don't really move me very much, I'm not going to lie. That is a sweep, and we get what we asked for, I guess. It is the San Antonio Spurs. Simons, Castle, Vassell, Sohan, Wembanyama. Dylan Harper coming off the bench. He very well could be my next 5-year rebuild. We are up 3-0. We sweep. Moving on to Minnesota here. Rob Dillingham, Anthony Edwards, McDaniels. They haven't really made a lot of changes. I mean, these three are obviously new, but like, I don't know, the core of that, backcourt anyways. All right, it is time. We're up 3-1, and we are going to the NBA Finals. Again, we're looking to win our third championship in 4 years, taking on the Brooklyn Nets with Bam out of, I mean, there's just not a fucking chance, right? Thanks for coming out. Cooper Flagg, Finals MVP once again. It is time for the final offseason before we enter the fifth and final season here. Cam Christie retired? Oh, we have Max here. Okay, well, it is time for the final draft lottery, and we have, I don't think, any picks here. Still good with Jason Kidd. Let's approach the draft. I just want to make sure I didn't miss something in the draft pick department. Oh, we have 14 from the Lakers. Okay. Well, that's fine. I'll actually probably draft somebody. I have no idea. This is the 2029 class, I think, because we might lose somebody. Sure. Eldon Reed. If that's a real person, he's probably like 13 years old right now. 75 overall. We are going to enter free agency here. Cooper Flagg's restricted. Same with Asa Newell. I do not know how you pronounce it. And then obviously Cooper Flagg is, a big free agent priority. Same with Tyrese Halliburton. So I'm hoping we have the money. I'm going to wait on Newell just because I want to make sure I get both Halliburton and Flagg back. Because if I don't, I am what we refer. Okay. Is it going to allow me to match it though? No, definitely don't do that. He has 8 offers. Is he just not going to... Oh, they're not real offers. Well, we might end up getting insanely lucky. Maybe he gets no offers, and maybe we're able to just honestly match it. If that is the situation we find ourselves in. Oh, boy. I mean, hypothetically, I could trade Jabari Smith Jr., but let me just wait at this point. Because if he doesn't get a real offer, then he's going to obviously accept his qualifying offer, which would be pretty much the best thing that could have ever possibly happened to us in these videos. Oh, my God. There's no way this happens to us, is there? He's not signing one of those, so I guess he's just going to take his qualifying. Wow. Wow. Wait, what? No, he had a qualifying offer. Oh. 2K. 2K. Fucking goddamn it. He's probably just chilling in free agency, isn't he? This game's so fucking broken. It really is. All right, I'm going to fix this, and I'll explain everything at the start of year 5. So this is not the way I wanted this video to end, but unfortunately, that is going to be the reality we find ourselves in. I have a couple things right now. First and foremost, Cooper Flagg would have a qualifying offer, and he did. I extended him a qualifying offer. I don't know why it auto-renounced. You guys watched me. I didn't renounce his cap hold, so that in itself is broken. He should have, technically speaking, accepted his qualifying offer. You know what I'm saying? He should be on this team right now. For those of you who are saying, well, just re-sign him back. Well, I can't, because unfortunately he wants $36 million, and as you can see, I'm at negative $149 million, almost $150 million in cap space. And yes, I did try another way to do it. I went ahead and I looked at the finances for other teams. You can see the salary cap room right there. If I wanted to sign him with another team, I'd basically need about $35 million. Well, if we scroll through all of the teams, all of the 30 teams that are here in the NBA, there's really not a way for me to get there because every single fucking team here is in the negative. So there's a bubble is basically what I'm trying to say. There is a bubble like the fucking financial bubble of 2008 here in the NBA right now because you have players that are as good as Cooper Flagg who obviously need contracts and I can't give them to him because no team has the fucking cap space to do it. So I'm not doing a Cooper Flagg rebuild without Cooper Flagg. That's just stupid. If he was on another team, I would, do a trade or I'd override it or something, but there is quite frankly, not a legitimate way for me to put him back on this team right now. It's incredibly stupid. I don't like it. It is just the reality of this game. So I promise I'll be more careful going forward. We won 3 championships in 4 years. It's not like we ended up coming up short in this video or anything. Probably would have just won another one anyways. But yeah, that's on 2K because I have the cap increasing at, a 65% rate, not year over year, but like that's how it progresses throughout the years. And yeah, obviously this game didn't keep up. Something's broken. So yeah, not the way I wanted to end my first 5-year prospect rebuild, but again, I'm not doing a Cooper Flagg rebuild without Cooper Flagg. So shout out 2K, man. Most broken game out there. Shit is annoying as all hell. Moving forward, probably doing 2 or 3 of these a week. I can just go in order if you want. You can let me know which one you want me to do next. I have no preference. Along with that, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. But yeah, once again, my apologies. It's really, really fucking annoying. I wanted to get a 4th and 5th years, but not the case we find ourselves in here today. All right, man, that's going to do it for me. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.